I've been doing stuff at Northwest Children's Theater since I was 3.
5 years ago?
9.
11.
17 since I was about 5 or 6.
4 years old.
I've been here since I was a fetus.
The first show that I remember going to and that really inspired me to really get into theater was Spamalot.
I remember seeing Rapunzel Uncut.
Oh, I saw Shrek the Musical.
Busy Town.
The Witches.
Cinderella.
The Starlings.
Annie. Peter Pan.
I think Narnia.
I saw Chitra.
A phrase I would use to describe the community would be practically perfect in every way.
A second home.
Welcoming.
A family.
I'd say diverse and loving.
Inclusive and welcoming.
Accepting. Magical.
Irreplaceable.
My name is Claire Churchill, and I'm an intern here. My first main stage was Wizard of Oz, and then I was in Amelia Earhart's first flight with the Starlings last year, and then over the summer the Starlings went to the Oregon Zoo to do Sleeping Beauty, and I was in that as a fairy and prince. And then this year I'll be in Dinosaurs with the Starlings again. Well, I mean, a main stage is a lot of work in a way that you're surrounded by people who are excited about doing all of this work, and rather than seeing a 4-hour rehearsal as something annoying, everyone's excited to be there for that whole time, and it's a commitment for sure, and it's definitely not easy all of the time, but it's something that you process and you get through, and you're so proud of what everyone has finished and what you've created together that it's really a rare opportunity for teenagers in theater to actually get to perform a show for more than 2 weekends, to do it for a full month and have a professional experience like this where the children are just as valued as the adults and actually can feel comfortable again to put themselves out there and really work on, it's still a learning process with the main stage, but just with a bigger impact on the whole community as well.
Things that make it very special for me is our relationship with our audiences. I think we tend to, when we can, be very interactive, very boisterous and bouncy, and I think we celebrate that the audience is there having a theatrical moment, and we want to have that. It feels like a game. I think our shows, when we get them right, there's a really strong reaction and relationship between the audience. We really love that they're there and are experiencing the show in any way that they're experiencing it, and then we try to make that a safe and happy place. So our theater is not a theater where you come and be quiet and sit and watch and clap when it's over. I think we really invite children and their families. I think we invite adults to be kids a little bit and to remember what that's like and to tap into that. I think we really want kids to come and be who they are as they watch the show. I think that makes us different. I think we really think about our audiences and what we want them to go through, and we allow that to affect our decisions.
For us, new works means stories that are put on the stage that we have created the script for, as well as the concept for the production.
There's many reasons why we tapped into new works. I think one, we have a very, Sarah Jane and I think the artists that we work with, we like to make it new. So if we're doing something that's known, if we're doing Wizard of Oz, or we're doing something that's known, I think we naturally want to do something with it that makes it new to us, or to give it something new.
We get to actually develop stories that we think are relevant now in the city for our audiences in real time.
So we would do Snow White, and it was called Snow White. So parents could say, yes, I'm bringing my children to Snow White. We know Snow White is great. So they weren't going, wow, that wasn't the Snow White I expected. And I don't think the adults said either, but if we said, come to this awesome story about two girls that are fighting and warriors and a palace somewhere, they would be like, I don't know what that is.
We'd also been working our way through all of the classic Western European fairy tales and kind of putting a contemporary spin on them, often a feminist perspective, trying to interpret them through a 21st century American lens. And we kind of run out of a lot of those stories. And we were sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel of fairy tales, and we were left with Sleeping Beauty, which I think is a dreadful story.
New works allowed us to tell things and bring things to the stage that we thought were important or we wanted to bring more importance to. And you get, I think, all elements of theater get a little bit more creative control when you get to go from scratch. The Starlings, I think, are a really beautiful hybrid of a lot of things we've learned from new works.
John was creating more and more elaborate and effective puppets for all kinds of shows. When we hit a point in the story where we're like, we don't know how we're going to do this, one of the solutions that we had in our toolkit was a puppet. We were like, do we really have to do Sleeping Beauty? Also, we want to do a puppet show. And so we were like, okay, we'll do a puppet version of this last fairy tale. And then out of those conversations, the Starlings were born.
So Sarah posed the question, what if we had something else that you were going to go see, not got you in, and you cared less about what it was?
And so the idea was the audiences would come to Sleeping Beauty, meet the Starlings, get to know their methods of storytelling, and then from that point, we could tell stories that weren't called Sleeping Beauty or something equally recognizable.
So this is one of the first mock-ups I made. So when we started, the first ones were all pretty much raw foam. So upholstery foam, stuff that's mattress foam. I was spray painting it, then I learned to dye it. We would make the puppet. It was all dyed in different colors, and then maybe some feathers and a few other things. And then I started playing with other things to cover them in. So the second round, we had more dyed foam that was airbrushed. We started adding more boas and feather pieces, and then I started learning about other types of foam. So foam that kind of looked like feathers. So it was kind of a raw foam puppet with more stuff on it. And then the newest version of the Starlings are puppets that are made of foam and then fully covered in fur, other types of foam, or Aeron fleece or Muppet fleece. The population of the puppet making is about 90% me. I get some help on fabrication days where it's like, oh my gosh, everybody glue a pom-pom on something. But right now they've been pretty much a one-man band. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, puppet show. So like 2 birds, maybe 5 really dynamic puppets, small, intimate, controllable. And Sarah's like, so I'm thinking like 250. I'm like, oh! She's like, I want the theater filled. I want it to be as if they've taken over the whole building. Like they're everywhere. They're in the lobby, they're getting into your seats, they've made just everywhere. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of birds. Which to me, in my mind was like, that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of puppets. But the idea is that you're just overwhelmed with them. And I think if we get that, we've got something right. I think when you go through a story, you learn something. I think we tell stories to learn. So I think theater is all about telling stories. I think if you hear a story, you should learn something. I think that you can go further than that, than just hearing a story and getting something from it. I think theater is, I just don't know. I don't know how you don't get something from it when you watch it.
The best thing about the entire Starlings project so far has been the creative freedom. We have stories of kids saying to their parents, the parents will say, hey, do you want to go see Mary Poppins? And they'll be like, are there any birds in it? and then they don't want to go if there's no birds in it. Which I just think is hilarious considering, 3 years ago we hadn't even thought about it. And when you've been doing I've been in the same work for 10 years in this job, 10 or 11 years. And when things start to feel a little predictable, that's a sign that you've got to change things up. If it's not exciting and engaging to the artists that are making the work, then it probably isn't going to be very exciting and engaging to the audience. And that's kind of unacceptable. And what the Starlings have done has really inject many shots of adrenaline into the creative veins of Northwest Children's Theatre, and they're continuing to do that.